A keto chicken pot pie soup. I'm Urvashi, my blog is TwoSleevers.com, and I'm going to show you how to make something that tastes like chicken pot pie, but A, it's got no carbs, and B, it's got no crust. So let's get started. I am going to start with getting a couple of tablespoons of butter. We're going to melt that in here. As it's melting, I'm going to add in some garlic and some onion. And we're going to toast some celery in here. I'm going to add some carrots. Now I know a lot of people will say, oh my god, carrots on keto. This is less than 1 cup of carrots divided by 4 servings. If you don't like to do that, don't eat it. It's going to make it taste much better, and a lot of it, if you look at the net carbs of 1/4 of a cup of carrot, it's not going to be a whole lot. So I'm going to put the carrots in. Now one thing you can do to make this easier on yourself is you can buy frozen pre-cut vegetables, and this will go a lot faster. Now green beans are not traditional in a chicken pot pie, but I'm going to put them in because we need some veggies to fill out the soup, because we don't have potatoes. We're not going to put in a whole bunch of peas and a whole bunch of carrots. We're trying to keep that down. So here are frozen cut green beans that I've thawed. Well, I've semi-thawed. I don't worry about it too much. I have here 1/2 cup of green peas. Again, if you prefer not to do peas and carrots, don't. I like them. The net carbs are super low for veggies, so I do it. And then I'm going to put in about 3 cups of rotisserie chicken that I have taken off the bone. Now, if you prefer not to do this, just get some chicken thighs or some chicken breast, cut it up small, and you can put it in just the same. You don't have to do this. But listen, it's a great way to use a rotisserie chicken. I love dishes like that. I'm going to add some pepper. I'm going to hold off on the salt on this one, just because I'm about to put in chicken broth, and then I'm going to put in cream afterwards. And both of those things tend to be a little bit salty, have a little sodium in them. Okay, that's it. I'm pouring in now about 3 cups of chicken broth. I'm going to turn up my stove because I want this to come to a boil fast. The good news is that the chicken is already cooked the way I'm doing it, so I really don't need to cook it for very long. It's just long enough for the vegetables to cook. So I'm going to let it come to a boil, and then I'm going to turn down the heat, and we're going to give it about 3 or 4 minutes. So I'll start the timer now so we know how long this takes. Okay, that took about 4 minutes to come to a boil. I'm going to turn it down. Oh, it smells like chicken soup. And we're going to give it another 3 minutes. Okay, now we're going to pour in very, very slowly about a cup of cream in here. Okay, you don't want to pour it in suddenly, it's going to separate. Just be very, very gentle. Try not to make a mess. And then we're going to let this boil again for a little bit until it thickens up. I'm actually going to put in a little bit of ground thyme. Okay. The way to know your soup is done is to take the vegetable that takes the longest to cook, which in our case is the carrots, and taste that and see if it's crisp tender. Okay, you don't want mush here because as the soup sits, it's going to cook a little bit in residual heat. But it's been about 15 minutes, and this is our version of a keto chicken pot pie soup. It has all of the ingredients of a pot pie, it doesn't have a crust, and it's very, very keto. Now, if you want it still thicker, you can put in a little bit of xanthan gum. In fact, I'll show you how to do that, so hang on. Xanthan gum is a very keto-friendly thickener. It's made out of, I think mushrooms, a mushroom extract-like thing. So for about 1/4 of liquid, you need about 1/4 of a teaspoon of xanthan gum. It takes very, very little. And you don't make a slurry like you would with cornstarch. You just kind of very slowly sprinkle it in. Try not to get any on your hands. It's a little bit slimy feeling. It's a terrible word to use for cooking, but it's true. Stir it in and let it come to a boil, and it'll thicken the soup up a bit. Okay, that has thickened our soup up considerably. You can add more xanthan gum if you like it thicker, but this is supposed to be a soup, so don't go overboard and make a thick stew out of it, unless you want to make a thick stew, in which case make a thick stew. It's home cooking, you get to do whatever you want. Alright, so that's how simple it is. You start with all of the ingredients of a chicken pot pie, and you make it into a soup. No crust, no fuss. I'm Urvashi, my blog is TwoSleevers.com. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching.